Okay, this is scary. So first of all, I'm not a YouTuber. I have no idea how to do this, so I'm just going to do my best. There won't be any editing. There won't be any amazing, fine works of art. It's literally going to be me waffling at a camera. So my name is Siobhan. I'm from Ireland. I'm 35 years old, and I am making this video because I want to document the process of coming off Mirtazapine. If you are anything like me, and you are contemplating coming off Mirtazapine, you've Googled that very thing, how to come off Mirtazapine, and you've been greeted by some fairly horrendous results, like thousands and thousands of Reddit forums and Facebook pages and Facebook groups and just all manner of things that basically say coming off Mirtazapine is basically impossible and you shouldn't try doing it, and if you do, you're going to have months and months and months of terrible symptoms and withdrawal, and it's going to be awful. So I am basically kind of against the advice, bless you, against the advice of my doctor. I'm going to be trying to kind of self-navigate my way through coming off the drug. Now, I'm in Ireland, so I'm referring to it as Mirtazapine because that's what it's called here. I think outside of Ireland, the UK, it might be called Remeron, but I'm in Ireland, so that's what I'm going to be calling it Mirtazapine. I've been taking Mirtazapine since June of 2023. It's now September of 2024, so I've been taking it for about a year and 3 months. And I have been taking 7.5 milligrams since the day I started. My dose has never went up or it's never went down. It's constantly been 7.5. So I started taking it because I was going through a very hard time in my life. I've always dealt with anxiety. I've particularly dealt with obsessive compulsive disorder and health anxiety. Those are the primary ones. I had it fairly under control, I think. I was taking Lexapro for a few years. I came off Lexapro and all was well with the world. And then unfortunately, my mum got very sick. I was acting as her primary carer, and considering I had health anxiety, I was in kind of hospitals dealing with radiologists and dealing with all the things I was absolutely terrified of. And unfortunately, with my mum, she did have a terminal illness, and she had to go to a hospice, and she did ultimately pass away from cancer. And that was just a really, really difficult time for me when we were massively close, and I was kind of the primary carer for such a long time. And when she went into the hospice, it was like I had lost my entire purpose, and I just didn't know how to navigate life anymore. And I went to the GP and I felt like I was in a complete black hole. I was going in every week for different symptoms because I had so many somatic symptoms from my health anxiety, and I mean terrible things. But if anybody is struggling with health anxiety, you should check out Sherelle Thinks on YouTube or on Instagram. She's a lifesaver. Anyway, I went into the doctor and she said, look, I think you're struggling too much. How much are you sleeping? I was barely sleeping. I actually still have a permanent kind of line here. You can see it. I'm not wearing makeup for the sake of this video, so you can see the permanent line that's there, just because I wasn't sleeping at all, and that hasn't ever recovered. But yeah, so she basically said, I can put you on Mirtazapine. It's a very low dose, will start you off, it'll help you sleep, and it just might make things a bit clearer. And it worked basically from the second I took it. Like, I took it that first night in June of 2023. That night was the best I had slept in potentially forever. And for the entire year and 3 months that I've taken it, my sleep has been fantastic. I think there's 2 nights the entire time that I didn't sleep. One night was the night my mum died, and another night was when I'd had like a ton to drink. So the two just clashed with each other. But that's why I started. And I kind of continued on. I took my tablet every single night. I was very dedicated. And now I'm stopping because first of all, I don't feel like it's really benefited my anxiety. The number one thing Mirtazapine has done for me is help me to sleep. And it turns out when you're not sleeping, that does a whole lot of damage to everything else. You know, you're cloudy, you can't make accurate judgments, life is harder if you're not sleeping. So that was the number one thing it did. In terms of my health anxiety, it didn't help. In terms of my general anxiety, it didn't help. In terms of my obsessive compulsive disorder, it didn't help. I know the lower doses they're more of a sedative, the higher doses are more for anxiety, But I'm really glad now that I didn't go up, because in that time I found a really good course, really good therapist, and thank the good Lord, my health anxiety and my OCD are in a good place right now. So now is the time when I want to come off. I've also read some reports of mirtazapine being a bit dangerous for pregnant women, and I do, please God, at some point want to have children. I'm 35 now. I'm conscious the clock is ticking, and I see that people do have a hard time coming off mirtazapine, so I just want to get moving with getting it gone. So that's why I'm stopping. Now, my planned taper schedule, I should say at this point, 5 minutes in, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a GP, I don't know anything about medicine, I don't know anything, and I'm not telling anybody who's watching this that they should do what I'm doing. I'm just documenting this because I'm kind of trying to believe that this will be a positive account, and that if somebody finds it, they'll go, okay, she came off okay, so therefore it's not the end of the world. Please God, that'll be the case. So my planned tapering schedule is that I'm going to cut tablets out entirely as opposed to cutting, because in Ireland the smallest dose of tablet that you can get is 15 milligrams. I'm already breaking that in two to get 7.5. It's a tiny tablet, and I don't want to go messing around with razor blades, and I just don't think it's going to be accurate. I don't think weighing scales are going to be accurate, and also I've seen people on like Facebook groups messing around with maple syrup and all these kinds of things. Like, maybe there's a reason they've gotten to that point. Maybe they've tried all the things that I'm going to try first, but I'm just not at that point where I want to entertain that. When I came off, I was on Lexapro for 3 years. When I came off that, I came off cold turkey. 2 bad weeks, then I was fine. So this, I'm not going to do cold turkey, but it's going to be a quick enough taper. So my plan is to be entirely off within 6 weeks. Week 1, there's 7 days in a week. So week 1, I'm going to take 5 tablets throughout those 7 days. So I'm skipping 2 days effectively. Week 2, I'm going to take 4 tablets. Week 3, I'm going to take 3 tablets. Week 4, I'm going to take 2 tablets. And week 5, I'm going to be off completely. Now this is all at this point in time an idea, and I'm hoping it doesn't go badly, and obviously I'm going to try and support it by having like really good nutrition. I'm going to try and exercise. I'm going to try and do as best with my sleep as I can. I have no doubt that that is going to be affected. I'm going to try and practice some gratitude and read my Bible, and just like, I don't believe that the life God wants for me is to be reliant on antidepressants until the day that I die. So I'm trusting in him, and I feel like it's time to come off. So that's the plan. Last night was actually night 1. It's the first night I didn't take the tablet in a year and 3 months, and I didn't sleep great. I didn't sleep terribly. I think I was I mentally was very, very conscious that I hadn't taken the tablet, so that didn't help, but I did sleep. Otherwise today has been fine. I did have about an hour and a half, I would say, of dizziness, and like that was unpleasant, and that made me kind of second guess the whole thing, because I was like, this is day 1 taking out 1 tablet, so what's it going to be like in a few weeks? But it passed, and now I feel absolutely fine again. So I'm just going to see how we go. I'm going to hopefully upload a video to this channel, a very short video. They're not going to be long, just to update with how the process is going, and yeah, hopefully maybe the journey will help somebody. Hopefully it's not a complete disaster, because after all the things that I've read on Reddit, I'm kind of nervous about it. The things I am most nervous about probably are it being awful, that being number 1. To be honest, I'm not actually so worried about anxiety coming, or, which probably sounds so unbelievably short-sighted, but it's more, I'm afraid of like skin reactions and stuff, because I already have very, very sensitive skin. I know that mirtazapine is kind of, it's like a very strong antihistamine, so I'm really nervous about my skin because I struggle with that in general. I'm nervous about that one. I'm nervous about like the hot sweats. A lot of people talk about hot sweats and brain zaps and all these kinds of scary things. So I'm nervous of them, but I don't want to be on mirtazapine forever. So we got to come off at some point, you know. And this is what I'm going to try. I'm going to try it. So I guess I'll catch you back here in a week.